Is Monday. It is still the holiday for many. I'm going to work, which is awesome because I love what I do, and I'm sure you love what you do. I'll bet you do. But many of you have it off, which is great. I have been eating like so much food. Like there's an apple pie out there with my name on it, and I keep every time it's like I swear I'm not gonna have another piece of apple pie before dinner, and I'll hit it at noon. I'll hit it at 2. I'll hit it at 3. So I've just been mowing food, which is kind of fun, part of the holidays. Redoing the set here. It's gonna take a few days. The microphone's different. Right now it's a shotgun mic. I'll fix that. I started off this morning with the best picture I could find. This is Mount Shasta, essentially live at 10:30 this morning. And just, I mean, it is an amazing mountain. It just is. There's an energy to it. There's all, you know, they talk about the chakras and all that. But just in terms of California pride, right? Boom. I mean, Whitney's awesome too. And so all those white mountains are awesome. But something about Shasta just speaks to me about being a Californian, about history. I don't know. It just stands out. And you know what I'm talking about. If you especially that drive, you know that drive coming up on 5, and you're going over the bridge at Lake Shasta, and there's that one turn you finally come around before Dunsmuir, and there it is on the right day. And it stops your breath. I've been doing it since I can remember it since 1965. I used to go up there, I was born in 58, so I'd go up there with my dad fishing or hunting or whatever. We used to ski on Mount Shasta, actually, in the old ski resort that was on the Avalanche run, but it got knocked down. So that's Mount Shasta. It's just stunning. You can get these cameras. This is the Alert Cam California out of San Diego State. It is on my links page. And I got to tell you, man, there are so many cameras available. They're not all awesome like that, but there's a lot, and you can time lapse them. You just got to spend a little time playing with them. Okay, this is my next best shot. This is Steamer Lane. Steamer Lane always picks up a good this time of day because the sun's hitting it just right, and the waves clean up. It's junky. Ocean Beach, you'll see in a minute, real sloppy. It's still 10 foot, 11 foot. Swells are west 8 at 13, I think. But you can see the tide's high. Tide's starting to drop out, and you could surf it. Like there's a gentleman or somebody there surfing it, but see how slow it is? But as the tide gets lower this afternoon, this place is going to go off. And you can check the Surfline cameras too. You go to surfline.com, and I subscribe. I give them a little money, but you don't have to. You can literally just go and poach, and you do have to sit through a couple of ads, but oh well, right? One of the things, my favorite things to do is sometimes I'll put it up on my big screen in the living room and just play surf, right? You have to refresh every once in a while, but you just watch the waves. You're not at the beach, but it's almost, especially if you got a big plasma or something like that, which most of us do now. Okay, so this is the satellite image. This is the visible satellite image from the GOES West, Geoorbital Earth Stationary Satellite. And that's all you need to know about today, right? That's all you need to know about today. There's not a lot of wind. There's clear skies. There's the valley fog. It was prolific this morning. It'll be prolific tomorrow morning, so we'll see a dense fog advisory. In these areas around the North Bay, Inland East Bay, and South Bay, we'll see a frost advisory again and a freeze warning again. So nothing really pressing. This week is going to be marked much different than last week. Last week was like, okay, it's going to rain. It might rain. It could rain. It's raining a lot. Oh my gosh, it's not clearing up. It's one of those. This is going to be more like today. Now there'll be clouds. Clouds come in tomorrow. Maybe I'll show you the model, but none of it. It's all kind of staying north. And I hope you looked at that. Maybe I'll throw it in again today. I mean, I'll throw it in right now. But that the wet dry line between Northern California and Southern California, the blues and the greens representing well above average, more than 100% for the rainfall year, and the browns representing less than that. And it is stunning. The line. It is boom, drawn right through the heart of the Bay Area. So Mount Tam is well over 100% of rainfall average, and Monterey, Santa Barbara, well below. Fire danger is not done for Southern California, and here we are coming into January. So let's see what we got for you next. Here we've got the frost advisories and freeze warnings. Yeah, that's what you get. You get rain in here, and you'll see valley fog too. We did see valley fog the last couple, this morning we saw some. This is the Alert Cam again. This is San Francisco. Temperatures today are going to just stay in the upper 50s, maybe a couple low 60s. Temperatures this week will be low 60s for the most part. Today's a little cooler because we had that frontal passage last night. I like this shot because that's Mount Diablo. A lot of history about Mount Diablo. If you get a chance, I recommend it. I don't think it's in my links, but the up and down California by Brewer. He was with the Geologic Survey. He worked with Whitney of Mount Whitney fame, and they came out here after the gold rush, before the Civil War. I think it was before the Civil War, and I think it was right before. And they were looking for, they kind of were doing a survey, but it was under the guise of, oh, we're looking for, we're just mapping this. California's ours now. It's part of the United States. But they were really looking at it for, well, obviously, for money, right? For more gold, for more silver. So that was what they were sent out. They were acting like they were just kind of, and they were, but they were really looking for money to finance, I believe, the upcoming Civil War, or they were in the Civil War at that time. So, and he writes a lot, I tangent there, but he writes a lot about Mount Diablo, and is really strong history. One of the cool things that he does, which I love, is he goes, he writes about everything he sees. So he'll be walking along the road, and California back in the 1800s, after the gold rush, like 1855, 1860, 70, crowded. More crowded than you can imagine. Like you always think, oh, a couple people running around here and there. There were people, the foothills were littered with people. In many cases, more people than are up there now, if you can believe that. Okay, so here's another shot of Mount Diablo. This is from Mount Tamalpais. Different shot, but the same point. And you can see the bay. You can see one of the things about this time of year, after the rains, the water starts to get a little brown. It gets brown because of the wind stirring up the sediments with the tide differentials, but also because you're blowing sediments out of the Sacramento River, from the Delta, out from the Yuba. All those rivers drain into the bay, and so you're getting a lot of sediment coming out. In pictures, that's why I use pictures a lot, because pictures, video, live pictures tell you a lot more than, like this model will give us an idea what's going to happen. But those pictures, you go, oh, this is what's happening, and you didn't see a lot of cirrus clouds, so there's nothing coming. You didn't see wave clouds because there's no wind. You can pick up a lot, and I know you know that. I used to get that, but that's what my whole life was, driving around with my dad, who was kind of he was a veterinarian, nutty fisherman, hunter. He was like in the second veterinary class ever out of Davis. He's 98 now, and he moved up there. He was like the first lifestyle guy that I ever met. Like he moved in the middle of nowhere. Paradise back then was the middle of nowhere in 1954, and to hunt, fish, and and be an artist and work. And he did. And it's like he was the first hippie. Honest to God, he was an awesome dude. He's still around. Okay, so here is the model. This is right now. Lines, the closer together they are, you got a little east wind up here, right? They're kind of close, a little breezy up in northeast California. Not so much down here because the lines are further apart. And then we push through. This is going to be Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon. Okay, that's a drive-by, right? Don't change your plans based on that. That's Wednesday. So another drive-by. And then here comes some. This looks a little more solid. This is on Friday. Friday looks like it's going to increase clouds and be showery that day. That's kind of what's different between now and last night. Friday. Wednesday, there'll be a drive-by, weak system. And then Friday, we get this. The thing that the Wednesday system will do and the Friday system will do is it'll warm up those overnight lows. So if you're worried about freezes and frosts, it'll warm up on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. In the mountains, they got snow finally. It turned over. It's cold up there in the mountains. I could tell you how cold if I go. No, I'm not going to do it. I think it's got to be at least 32 degrees there right now. And you see snow in the trees. That's always, again, visuals, right? It was snow levels got down. Last time I showed you this picture, yesterday the trees were void of snow. And now you can see, okay, yeah, you got snow in the trees. So there you go. And the temperature, 35 degrees right now at the pass. This is Siberia, the top of Palisades, Tahoe. A little fog down in Truckee, makes sense. This is, it's indicating a stable pattern. I noticed the windsock here. We'll go into windsocks someday. Windsocks are awesome because you can actually tell the wind speed. They by how they hang. You may know this. If they bend, if they stoop. There's estimates, and they use those at airports, or they used to use them. They still do at small airports for the pilots coming in because you can't tell what the wind speed is, but you could visually look at the windsocks. And so that windsock, I can't remember what that. I used to know the speeds when it hangs like that because it's weighted and has a certain calibration to the wind. So it's sticking straight out, it's like 50 knots. I'm just making that up. And when it bends down, it's 20. When it's down like this, it's 3. It's right. So you have a good idea what you got. Big ski day because it's been rough up there. It's been rainy in the mountains, and now they're finally getting some some nice weather. It's going to be a little icy, a little crusty, but they do a nice job at Palisades, Tahoe, all the ski resorts do, in breaking up the ice. Okay, this is Ocean Beach. Swell, like I said, out of the west. Tide is dropping. It looks mellow, but it's not. Would I go out today? No. No, I wouldn't. Here's Mavericks. I wanted to show you this picture because the tide's kind of high, and again, the swell's up around, let's call it 12 feet. Mavericks doesn't even show. Like, you might see some bumps come in, and you're like, well, why doesn't it show? And I mean show where the wave peaks up, starts to come up. It's because it's too deep. Like, see, that's getting to the inner reef there. A lot of the energy gets diffused on the outer reefs, but when it comes into the shallows, it has a bit of opportunity to come. So as the tide drops out, and the tide's going to drop out 3, 4, 5 feet, then this thing will start to show. Still won't break. It's got to be really big. And there's a ratio between the height of a wave and the depth of the water before it'll break. And you've probably seen that in some of your, back in school when you're in geology class or geography class. Okay, so that's it for today. We're looking at freeze warnings and frost advisories next couple of mornings. No big deal. Wednesday, get a little drive-by. That just really serves to bring some clouds in and warm us up. Thursday looks money. Friday looks wet. Friday's your wet day right now. And then the weekend looks pretty good. I know it's way out there. Hope you're having a good holiday. We will talk to you probably tomorrow.